What's going on, guys? It's Luke here. I'm back with another video, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing 6 trade deadline moves that the Toronto Blue Jays could make. Videos like these take a lot of time and effort to make, so if you enjoy, please be sure to hit that like button and sub with noties on. It's your best way to show your support to my channel. But with all that being said, let's get right into the video. Alright, so the first MLB mock trade I made, and it is the Jays add a veteran bat to the lineup in Eduardo Escobar. So a mock trade here for me would be Eduardo Escobar would be sent to the Toronto Blue Jays in exchange for Rinkelman de Castro, who is the number 15 prospect in the Jays organization, along with a player to be named later. According to baseball trade values, the total value for the Jays is 3.80, and for the Arizona Diamondbacks, it's also 3.80. So this trade seems pretty fair all around. The Blue Jays, if they're making a run in the playoffs, they need to add some switch hitting. They need to add a guy who can be versatile, play in pretty much every position in the infield. And Eduardo Escobar is a guy who can do that. And like I said, is a tremendous hitter. He could put up big numbers for the Jays, and I think that's a pretty realistic thing for him to do if he came to the team. For the second mock trade, I said that the Jays can go out and go for Kyle Gibson of the Texas Rangers. And what a trade could look like for Gibson could potentially be Otto Lopez, who's the Jays' number 10 prospect, Victor Mejia, and as well as cash considerations. Not including the cash considerations, the total value here for each team, since the Blue Jays are getting Kyle Gibson, they're getting a value of 7.70. And then for the Texas Rangers, they're getting a pretty valuable prospect in Otto Lopez, and then Victor Mejia, so they're getting a total value of 7.30, plus that extra cash considerations. I see that being a super realistic trade that the Jays could go for. The third mock trade I did would send Richard Rodriguez from the Pittsburgh Pirates to the Toronto Blue Jays. And for this one, I think Richard Rodriguez could be sent to the Jays in a package that could potentially give the Pirates Miguel Geraldo, which is the Jays' number 7 prospect, as well as CJ Van Eyck, who's our 9th prospect. Some Jays fans might say, why give up that much for a pitcher? But hey, Richard Rodriguez is one of the best closers this year. The Pirates have done some great player development this year, and they've kind of made a lot of players a lot better than they were expected to, similar to what the San Francisco Giants are doing. And the Jays bullpen has been one of the worst in the league. They're number 19 in the league, so that's not too great for the Jays, who are trying to make a playoff run. So getting Richard Rodriguez would be a nice steady piece for us to get. And for the guys we're sending, I think it's pretty reasonable here, as the total value, once again, is very similar, 11.3 to 11.8. And I think the Blue Jays would make this trade, even though they're getting a bit less value. But hey, if they're trying to make a playoff run, they might as well try to win now. These next 3 trades are going to be very blockbuster and very shocking. But in this one, it's going to be the Jays bolster their rotation and get Jose Barrios from the Minnesota Twins. But because his value is so high, we will have to give up a lot of stuff. You'll see Miguel Geraldo's name on this trade block again, just once again. We're also sending Orlevis Martinez, who's a super underrated third baseman. Everyone's kind of saying he's the Walmart Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in that system. And so sending him, Miguel Geraldo, and Otto Lopez to the Minnesota Twins would be a pretty solid package overall. The value, once again, is just about the same. Getting Barrios, who's still relatively young, he hasn't really proved himself as much as the fans were hoping in this league. And so I think giving him a fresh start with the Toronto Blue Jays, hey, he could ultimately even become an ace, which would be awesome for the Toronto Blue Jays starting rotation. For the 5th mock trade here, this is kind of the first one that we're kind of sending one of our valuable guys to another team, where the other 4 have kind of been, we're signing someone to try to win now. But this one, we are sending Cavan Biggio to the New York Mets in exchange for Brett Beatty, David Peterson, and cash considerations. The value is just about the same here. Biggio could be some pretty good trade bait, as he has had a decent start to his career. I just think that he's a pretty replaceable guy for the Toronto Blue Jays. We have a lot of infielders. We don't need any more. We also have Auston Martin and Orlevis Martinez developing, and Jordan Groshans, so we don't really need many more guys like Cavan Biggio. And then for outfield, we're also pretty stacked. And so I think, hey, why not trade Cavan Biggio to the New York Mets team that needs a guy like him? Their third baseman right now is J.D. Davis. Come on, Biggio's better than him. He'd fill a great spot for the New York Mets, who are also in the same boat as the Jays, trying to win now. But then in return, we're getting Brett Baty, who is their number 4 prospect, and he's a stud. He's a right-handed pitcher, and that's exactly what we need right now. Of course, we have a lot of lefties, Hyunjin Ryu, Robbie Ray. And so getting another young pitcher to develop along with Nate Pearson, Alek Manoah, and Simeon Woods Richardson is just awesome, and it will really give the Jays a great future for their starting rotation. And then David Peterson. David Peterson's kind of just an add-on to this trade just to make it a bit more fair. He's not the greatest player. He won't really do much for the Jays, but the Mets also don't need him, so I just kind of add him to this trade. And then also the cash considerations, just because, hey, we need a bit more value from the Mets when we're giving up someone as good as Kevin Biggio, so just had to throw him in there. And then for the final trade of the video, and arguably the biggest name we'll see in this entire video, the Blue Jays trading for Max Scherzer and also adding Seth Romero, who's the Washington's number 18 prospect, in exchange for our number 7 prospect, Miguel Geraldo. We've seen his name fly around in a lot of these videos, but he's an infielder. We don't need any more infielders, so he'd be great trade bait for the Blue Jays. And so sending him along with Otto Lopez to the Washington Nationals, 2 relatively young guys who can play the infield. Their infield is starting to deplete a bit. Carter Kieboom's been kind of underwhelming, so getting these guys would be solid. And then for the Jays, Max Scherzer, sure he's old, sure he just got injured, but hey, if we're trying to go deep in the next couple of years, Max Scherzer is a great competitor and a guy who can do a significant amount of damage. And Seth Romero, another pitcher for our farm system, and that would be very nice for the Jays. Just another guy that we can work with, another opportunity for us to get a young star. So I think that would be a great addition to the Blue Jays. Just a simple 2-for-2 trade. And hey, the value once again is the same. So no team is really a winner or a loser here, but the Jays are just getting the big name for to ultimately give them some more innings and some great marketing and just overall an awesome player in Max Scherzer. But with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button and sub with noties on. It's your best way to show your support to my channel. But with all that being said, I'm out. Peace.